Rudy for Best Your Investor, or otherwise on a day like today, you are more than welcome to call me Mr. Oxy. A lot of stuff going on today in the marketplace, and for a guy who's heavily invested in energy like I am, when you have a day like today with some of the long positions that I have in companies like Occidental Petroleum, Enbridge, Pembina Pipelines, Total, etc. Happy day, right? So let's take a quick look at what happened to Oxy today. But before we look at today, let's look briefly at what happened before. So just a week ago, a number of our followers and friends and people in our community we here were talking about their favorite uncle, Jim Cramer. And I just want to make note of the fact that Jim may be your favorite uncle, but my favorite uncle is Carl Icahn. But Jim had been saying, sell Occidental Petroleum, sell Occidental Petroleum, sell Occidental Petroleum. And some of the people were quite panicked the way that Jim Cramer was basically telling you to get rid of Occidental. That was just a week ago. It seems like a long, long time ago. 2 weeks ago, we heard Vicky say in the third quarter earnings call that Occidental is looking to achieve net zero in 2040, which was ahead of schedule. And Occidental 2 weeks ago was cut to a rare underweight rating at JP Morgan just 2 weeks ago by infamous Mr. Phil Gresh. I wonder how Phil is feeling today, or anyway, for the past week. But that's a topic for another discussion. What did happen with Occidental today? So Occidental finished at close to $16, up 17% for the day. It's not too bad. I don't think that's actually where it finished. It was like 16 point something, but anyway, 17% is 17%, and I will take it. What has happened over the past month, including the period since Jim Cramer said you must sell Oxy and get out of it? Well, Oxy has been on a tear, and it's been up almost 34% over the last month. So I guess the message that I'm sharing with you there is the next time you hear the experts giving you their opinion on TV, especially on shows that are called funky names like Mad Money, maybe you should pause a little and say, if the expert says we should sell it, we should probably buy it. And if the expert says we should buy it, we should probably sell it. But that's a little bit too shallow a narrative for me, and regardless of the fact that I'm 1 inch deep and 5 miles wide, I'm not going to make that the thesis for my investment, other than for the fact that I quietly laugh in my sleeve every time I hear a TV pundit tell you what's going to happen with a stock, as if any of them have a crystal ball. So how is the news changing? So let's take a look at today. So Occidental, the shorts party is coming to an end. By the way, all of these headlines here come from StockTwits and Seeking Alpha and so on. So this one says Occidental, sell the rally. Okay, Occidental, third quarter sounds like a rock bottom. Okay, well, that's kind of a bit bullish. Are the debt concerns over? Occidental sale of its onshore Colombian oil assets makes sense. That's quite different to what they said before when they said they sold it for pennies to the dollar. Well, crude oil is climbing on vaccine progress. Permian Basin acreage price plunged 2/3 in 2 years, etc. So you can see overwhelmingly the interesting news is becoming sort of more and more, I wouldn't say bullish, but a little bit more positive, right? Wouldn't you agree? Let me know in the comments what you think in terms of the sentiment. Has the emotion changed, and is Occidental becoming a little bit less negative sentiment and more positive sentiment? Well, tell me in the comments what you think. We can chat about that. The rating summary. Well, this Seeking Alpha advisors or authors, sorry, I shouldn't call them advisors, authors are all kind of turning a little bit bullish. Wall Street and the quants, the smart guys, on the other hand, are still relatively neutral. Even the factor grades have changed a little. It was not uncommon to see Occidental sort of get a D grade or below on almost anything, and even that is shifting just a little bit. Just for for the sake of interest, nothing else, because remember, I just said a minute ago, none of us have a crystal ball. This is the actual revenue achieved by Occidental in December 2019, and this is the estimate for December 2020. So sort of midway between this range here. This is really tiny for you on the screen, but this is sort of midway between 15 and 20 billion dollars, and then the estimate revenue for 2021 is sort of in line, slightly above what the revenue was for this year. Now, obviously, that is really tough to predict because oil could go one way or the other. But in my very humble opinion, I think oil is more likely to go up than down, which means I literally see oil, and specifically in this particular instance, WTI, much more likely to be at 50 than at 30. I don't really make predictions, but there you go. There's a sort of very broad one for you. Oil is more likely to go to 50 than what it is to go to 30 as of today. What about the earnings per share? It's always interesting to look at where we are and where we've come from. This was that horrible quarter at the end of the second quarter when Occidental, well, on one hand you could say Occidental missed the analyst estimate. On the other hand, you could say the estimates derived by the analysts were a little bit clumsy and lazy because they keep missing the actual number by quite a bit. So on analyst kind of estimates, I kind of take it tongue-in-cheek and see what happens when they actually report as a general rule. This was Q3 just a few days ago. Obviously today, November 23rd, is just a few weeks from November 9th when Oxy had reported. And we know what happened there because it's history. And then this is the estimate for Q4 and then the estimate for Q1 of 2021. So you can kind of see there's a gradual improvement, even though my arrow is probably not doing just a justification because it's more flat than what my arrow shows. But yeah, you know, it kind of seems to us as if Oxy is at least edging a little bit more towards the plus column than the negative column, or if you like, the W instead of the L. So Oxy today, I thought it might be a good opportunity to kind of look at Oxy today compared to two of its peers. And these are two companies that I kind of rate more or less sort of equal in terms of Occidental, in terms of being underrated and being attractive right now as a buy. So we've got these three equities here kind of side by side, and you can see how the graphs have been sort of level tracking, following each other. And then suddenly today we had this Oxy spike. Sorry, not today, but over the past few days. Whilst Conoco in blue over here has also spiked nicely, and so has EOG. Now, to be fair, both Conoco and EOG have not been hit as hard as Occidental Petroleum over the past few months. There's no question about it. Of the oil and gas industry majors, Occidental was probably the hardest hit of them all, and that's why I liked it best, because it was probably, arguably, the most undervalued. At this moment in time, it looks as if my thesis was more or less correct. But remember, as I've said to you many times before, I'm in it for the longer haul. In the case of Occidental Petroleum, probably 3 to 5 years. So my thesis will adjust as the company reports quarter over quarter, and we see what's actually happening on with the price, what's happening with the price of WTI, and so on. The cash flow statement. So as of today, the latest information and update we have is the cash from operations. TTM means trailing 12 months. So for the past 12 months, sort of from today going back 12 months, 4.56 billion. Cash from investing a negative 3.7 billion. Levered free cash flow 5.3, unlevered 6.4. But more importantly, free cash flow per share for the past trailing 12 months, 52 cents per share. I think Oxy is going to perform significantly better from a free cash flow point of view going forward, and that'll be great as well because it will certainly assist Occidental in terms of paying off its debt. This video screenshot over here is actually the screenshot of the last video that I recorded just a few days ago on November the 17th, And in that video, I talked a little bit about the fundamentals as discussed in the Q3 2020 earnings call. And we were really fortunate to get a great cash flow analysis from Rob Smith from New Zealand, from Whangarei. He contributed to that video, and if you haven't seen it yet, take a few minutes. It'll take you about 20 minutes or so to watch that video, but do watch it to the end so that you can see Rob's cash flow analysis and projections. Really, really cool stuff. And once again, I've said it a few times now and in the comments as well. Thank you, Rob, for doing that. I really appreciate it. So guys, that's my wrap for today. Obviously, you knew I was going to make a video because Occidental had a major uptick on the market today. So let me know in the comments what you think. More importantly, tell me what you're doing. So I've seen a few of the people in our community already say, you know, I'm up a few dollars. I'm exiting now, or I'm thinking of exiting now. There are other people who say that even at $15, $16, Occidental is still so underpriced and so attractive in terms of where it's priced that they would actually buy more. Let me know in the comments what you think. As usual, you know, making videos takes a bit of time, and the information that I'm gathering, I'm helping to gather for you so that you don't have to. If you like my videos, please click the subscribe button, and let's build this community of like-minded investors. What I'd really like to do is build a large community of people who are interested in building generational wealth and making sure that we can support one another with good narratives, good thesis on whether to buy or sell, invest, what it is that we should look at. And I really do appreciate your comments and your contributions. As usual, you can tell I appreciate it because I try to comment on almost every one of them. So on that happy note, this is Rudy for Best Investors signing off. I'm happy to be called Mr. Oxy today. If Occidental tanks tomorrow for whatever reason, because of coronavirus or something like that, then maybe I'll call myself Mr. OxyClean or something instead. But for now, I'm a happy camper, and you probably should be too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing your comments with me. I look forward to interacting with you all. Bye-bye.